Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. Today we're going to be looking at a piece by the digital artist Nicolas Anton. And Anton is an artist who worked with actually mixed media, and he works with renderings as well as edits, and he really combines that in some really unique ways. So in this piece, we're going to be talking about center emphasis. We're going to talk a little bit about the vibrancy of color. We're going to talk about the symbolism of the cherry blossoms. We're going to talk about the skull, and then we're going to finally end it off with the theme of this work, which is actually the Latin phrase Memento Mori. So let's jump right into it. So in your initial introduction, you're likely caught with just how bright the spatial composition is. You know, you have that gold, you have that baby blue, and even that pinkish, high attention red type of color. And whenever you first see that, that just draws you in and captures your attention with absolute ease. And when an element of a piece of art sits in the center region of the spatial composition, it's really working, or at least most of the time, it's working to emphasize or elevate the importance of that figure. So what you'll see here is that the emphasis is elevated both through placement here in the center, but it's also elevated through this kind of, I guess you would call a dark on light contrast there. And I think that those are both really important because that's kind of like a double set of emphasis there. It's emphasizing the form of the skull in two different ways, whether it's placement as well as contrast. So I think that's quite important. So like I said before, you see a really bright spatial composition there. And this, of course, is set upon this kind of bluish sky. And you can think of that quite literally, or you can think of that as we're looking at the perspective of right under a cherry blossom tree with the sky in the background as well. And so the sky is actually a symbol of immortality in many cultures, and that is because the sky feels like it's infinite. Whenever you're looking over the landscape or the horizon, it just feels like it just keeps going and it doesn't stop. So I think that's really important, and we'll even see how that might even be a slight bid to the theme of the work Memento Mori. And so you'll see here we have the cherry blossoms. And it's quite unique because these are pixelated, you know, they're kind of low resolution forms of the cherry blossoms. So whenever we kind of think about that, you know, why are they low resolution? You know, why aren't they high resolution? And you even see some slight influences of glitch art in here as well. You know, we don't expect things to be low resolution and pixelated. So whenever they are like that, we are like, you know, you kind of look at that and I see a little bit of an influence of glitch art there. And that's actually, glitch art is getting way, way more popular. So even though it's not, say, like a screen tear or a literal glitch, a low resolution rendering, I think that is kind of a representation of some glitch art influence there. But the cherry blossoms are actually a symbol of this kind of the shortness of life or the fleeting nature of mortality. And so that is really fitting. We'll talk about Memento Mori here in a second. And that is really fitting with that theme of the work because of the life is fleeting and it's so beautiful. They only last about 2 weeks whenever cherry blossoms bloom. They really remind us, kind of a visual reminder or even a metaphorical reminder that, you know, beautiful things don't last forever and mortality doesn't last forever. So make it the best as you can. And so with that in mind, we're going to jump right into the theme of the work, which is Memento Mori. Memento Mori is a pretty popular Latin phrase, which just means remember death. And this is really important because, you know, we don't live forever. We are mortal beings. And so due to that kind of the fleeting nature of life and the fleeting nature of mortality, it's important to make each day, you know, the best one that you can. You know, live life to the fullest and do your best work as you can day by day because, you know, we can't live forever and it is that legacy or that impact that's always left behind in the end. So that's really the main theme of Memento Mori, just kind of a reminder of mortality, and through remembering death, you can really just kind of have a sense of freedom in knowing that you can live each day to the fullest and, you know, you won't have any regrets. You know, regrets in some ways are inevitable, but in many ways we can't hold on to them and we must let them go, just as we do with kind of the theme of Memento Mori. And so with that in mind, you see the skull here, and this is a golden skull. And whenever we see the skull is normally a symbolism of darkness or death, but in combination with the theme of Memento Mori, it's really interesting because instead of our traditional expectation of a really dark aesthetic, you see it is a gold skull, and Memento Mori is reminding us of death. So it's not like a negative work, it's more so showing you the skull to remember death in a very positive way, to live life to the fullest. So I think that's really important. And then you see the skull, the form of the skull is in this really striking and beautiful gold color. And that kind of, in my opinion, I think that shows us that mortality or even life itself is just as good a gift as gold. And it's really priceless, and we shouldn't take life for advantage because Memento Mori, it's always going to come to an end sooner or later. So that's really what I see primarily within this work. And so Nicolas Anton is a digital artist who, like I said, he works with some mixed media. What you'll see is that we have the rendering of the skull, and then that's set with kind of a Photoshop type of edit, and that really creates that mixed media piece there. So you will see him pretty soon in our upcoming release of our mixed media gallery. And Nicolas Anton, he works, like I said, mixed media. You have those edits, but also those renderings as well. And it's really unique how he combines that. He works with kind of a good amount of genre and stylistic variations. He likes a lot of kind of Roman and Greek influence, but he also mixes, I guess, what you would call kind of dreamcore aesthetics. And that's really important because dreamcore is extremely popular nowadays, and it's just growing from there. So I think Nicolas Anton has a really high amount of potential as an artist, and this piece, I think, so far, this is Anton's masterpiece, and it's really, really nice seeing the work coming from this artist. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Go check out Nicolas Anton's other works. His profile name is actually blueshift.na, I believe. And like I said, he works with a ton of different stylistic and genre-based variations. He works with that mixed media and just everything in between. A lot of historical influences as well. It's quite clear he's passionate about history and just really loves that as a result. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. We talked about center emphasis. We talked about the skull. We talked about the fleeting nature of mortality and to kind of live each day to the fullest so that you have no regrets. We also talked about the rejection of a traditional expectation of the skull as a negative symbol in exchange for the reminder of death through a positive symbol of Memento Mori. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Go check out some of Anton's other works. My name is Apollo. This was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.